Hey guys!
Happy Tactical Tuesday.
Happy Tactical Tuesday. It's kind of a tongue twister, actually. Tactical Tuesday. So welcome, guys. Holy smokes. Hopefully you guys are all recovered from the weekend. We had an awesome boot camp. Once again, some awesome breakthroughs and some real growth, which is what we want to see, and some results, some actions, some results that came from those actions. And that's what it's all about, right? Is the belief and the confidence. And reading one person's comments today, they said, I feel so much more confident. And that's the whole thing, right? This whole joint venture thing is a mind game. We're our hardest people on us, and we're the last people to believe in us sometimes. So if that's what we gave you, thank you for that, and we're thrilled.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you here in Fearless that maybe didn't join us for the boot camp this weekend, we're going to be continuing that theme today. We're going to be continuing about joint venturing and what are some of the questions that a joint venture partner might ask a working partner, during that sit-down presentation or during an interview over the phone or that sort of thing. What are some of the common questions that a working partner gets from a money partner? We're going to go over that today. We're going to answer those questions. We're going to hopefully simplify that a little bit so you're clear on what the answers to some of these questions are. So if you're in that situation, then you can hopefully convert more money partners a lot quicker and have yeses a lot quicker. That's the whole point of this.
Because part of it is sometimes we actually hold ourselves back from having those conversations because we're afraid to not know the answer. We're afraid, like we know that some of those questions, we're talking about people's, nest eggs. We know that there's going to be some pretty tough questions for us. And if we don't know how to answer them, sometimes that's going to stop us from really going out there and talking to people. So let's get a few of those cleared up today. But before we get to that, we're gonna just kind of recap a little bit from boot camp. And guys, welcome everyone. Thank you for saying hi.
I was gonna say that. Thanks for coming on and saying hi and where you're from, guys. It's awesome to see people interested in this topic and wanting to change people's lives in real estate from all across the country. So we're so happy that you guys are here to join us. And top 5 toughest questions from a finance partner.
I changed it to top 5 because I was thinking top 10, but then when I actually went and prepped for it, I was like, okay, by the time we get through all the boot camp stuff, we're not going to have time to do 10. So we'll just do top 5 today. So, but if you have any additional questions, things that, kind of put I don't know what in your stomach when you think about someone asking you that question and you don't know the answer, just throw it in the chat and we'll hit that for you so that you get that answer today, because it's all about conversations, right? We have to be having conversations with people in order to get them to know, like, and trust us, and in order to get them to invest with us. But in order to do that, we have to feel confident. And if we don't answer confidently and sit confidently and stand confidently, even if it's just fake, like I used to literally wear suits, dress skirt suits, I guess. And I went and bought glasses, pretend glasses, because it just made, I was 25 by this, 26 maybe by this time, but I had more comments 14. About me being 13 than anything. So
you still look 14 then.
Well, yeah, right. Thank you. But no. So for me, I had to do what I had to do to feel more confident. And that meant if I looked a little older with some glasses on and people didn't think I was 13 anymore, maybe that was going to help me. And maybe it did in my own head. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is, those 5 questions. How do we answer them? And then we're going to get back to, before we hit that, we're going to get back to boot camp and just talk about that for a minute. So guys that were with us in boot camp, hey, throw in your favorite line or gem or thing that you learned from boot camp. Throw it in the chat. We're going to talk about our 4 main points that we covered. Throw it in the chat. Let us know, what was your favorite thing that you learned that you're going to implement that you maybe didn't know, a new thought for you, or an old one, but something you were like, yeah, you know what, I haven't been implementing that lately. So yeah, throw it in the chat, guys. I'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you guys have put into practice, for those of you that have been to our boot camps in the past, this boot camp was similar in the content. You know, we added in a few new things this time, and we had some interviews. Fire hosing, Greg. You remember that? Yes. That was a big word that we used a lot. And, you know, just referring to once we've planted some seeds and with people, well, what do? Do we just like fire hose them with information so that they can't, you know, those seeds don't get a chance to germinate and be well planted and solidly rooted?
And if we do that,
we do that sometimes. That can be an automatic reaction sometimes in talking to people.
Yeah. So, and if we do that in real life, if we fire hose people, or if we're planting a garden and we do that in real life and we just pour that water on, what's going to happen? We're going to wash away that seed, or we're going to drown it, right? So you know, that's something we talked about a lot, and I love it too, Greg. That's awesome. And I think I remember you saying, "Oops, I've done that," right? And it's a mistake we make because we're so excited. But
just so you guys know as well, I'm just going to show you here that if it says Facebook user and this is you, or this answer here, if you haven't given StreamYard your permission for Facebook to use your name, then we can't see your name. We can't see your name. So just be aware. Maybe when you have the opportunity, just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give them your permission, and then we can see your name and we can feature your comments. But yeah, understanding your why, Marion says, that was a breakthrough for a lot of people, and we saw in the homework some amazing video I didn't letters. We saw some amazing picture collages of a vision board, and really getting down. We talked about getting down in those layers of your why, you know, not just leaving it on the surface, but what really drives you, because that's what keeps you going through all the tough times in real estate. And I think a lot of people made some breakthroughs there, which is really cool. Someone said that the best part of boot camp was the gentleman being vulnerable, leaning in and looking forward and not looking back. And I totally agree with you. I feel like, you know, that was transitional for a lot of us, where we felt that you know, frustration and that pain again, and we don't want it for us or for anyone else, right? And it was like, yeah, it was really transformational, and that's the power of sitting down and doing those kinds of exercises. Nin just put, you can see she put that the link, StreamYard.com. She's put that link in if you want to go there, and then we can see who we're talking to. Remember to bring real estate into the conversation. Thanks, you never know who else might be helped by learning more. Absolutely. And, you know, steering conversations towards real estate. And we role played that. We went through a number of situations as to where that can be common, how you can easily steer a conversation towards real estate. You know, we get asked all the time, where did you get all your partners? And really the answer was very, very simple. We got it by steering regular, everyday conversations towards real estate. And when we did that, people started asking questions. We answered the questions, and it went from there. So it really came down to just building relationships and steering conversations towards real estate. Yeah. And yeah, congratulations to everybody during boot camp that also joined our Ignited program. Yeah, congratulations to David Dowdy, who became our scholarship winner in the first year to the Ignited membership. So we were happy about that. And we should just say now too, guys, we have the discount that the boot camp blitzers got for our Ignited program. It's a discount of $1,000 off, almost $100 off a month if you take the monthly program, or $1,000 off if you take the one-time pay. If you guys want to still, here in Fearless, if you didn't join us in boot camp and you've been thinking for a while, I want to join this Ignited program, now is the chance. It ends tonight at midnight. And you can get it for $1,000 cheaper than if you join next week. And even if you're not ready to join right now, but you want to take advantage of that discount, but you're not sure, you can always book a consult. As long as you book your consult this week, for this week, then we're fine with offering that discount. And a consult would just be with one of our team members, talk to them about what it is that we offer in Ignited. What is it that's, you know, causing this movement of insanity buying, and
and see if it's right for you. And if it's not, they'll tell you. We're not out to have people in the program that we can't help. We're only out to actually have people that we can help. So if you're too early for it, or if you don't need us, we've had people come in that are like, I just want to be part of your community. Well, that's great. They're like, what can I learn from you? Well, you know what? You're good. I think you're beyond what we teach. So, but we will tell you that. So anyways, book your one-on-ones if you want to take advantage of that discount. And then if you decide to come and join us, then you can take advantage of it. So.
Yeah, so Nin will put in the link. There it is, Join Ignited Now, fearlessinvestors.ca/Join Ignited Now. If you guys want to still take advantage of that discounted price, by all means, come and join us. Or like Tiff said, book a consult. Nin will share the link for that as well with one of our team members and chat with them about what they think about it. Awesome. I love all these comments. Steer those conversations right into a Corvette, Ray says. Absolutely. That's what you want to be doing. And there's more Corvette talk here. Yes, I've wanted a little red Corvette since the 80s.
Yeah, Michelle said that a couple times, actually. Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but Corey sold his Corvette. I think we told our Igniteds, but I don't know if we told Fearless. So Corey had bought this Corvette, lifelong dream to get this Corvette since he was a little kid.
Just like in the fall.
He bought it in the fall. No, in the summer. It was in July. But
okay,
but yeah, like then it sat in our garage all winter, and he was like, I want to drive it. I want to like be driving. So he thought, well, I'm gonna put it on and see if I can sell it and see what happens. And it was gone the next morning at 9:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, are you okay?
That's okay.
Yeah, but
real tough first world problems, right?
Totally first world problems. But now he's gonna get something that's a little more practical and you can drive year round.
I got my eye on something already. So
anyway, yeah, right on, Chris. You got a consult book. Perfect. So guys, what we talked about in bootcamp, what we started with was the one-line moneymaker. And I just want to go back to that and just kind of quickly repeat that if we can't tell people what we are doing and offer in real estate, offer them in real estate, if we can't tell people that clearly, concisely, and simply, they simply will not invest with us.
Yeah.
So that's what the one-line moneymaker is about. It's basically a value proposition, but it's a refined one, and it's a very deliberate one. And so that's what we went over, was everyone created their own one-line moneymakers, and then we, they threw them in the feeds, and we critiqued. People did them by video and redid them, and yeah, it was just a great time. So now when someone asks you what you do, you can actually answer them because you've drilled it into your brain and you've practiced out loud. And that's a really important part of raising capital, is being able to say what you offer on a whim without like dragging it on and bubbling forth of the mouth and just continuing to talk, when really you should just be saying one quick sentence, and that should give them everything they need to know.
I just noticed in the comments here, I'm just going to share this just so that Nin doesn't miss it. Oops, wrong one.
I'm like, from Toronto.
Is Angie and Andrew just registered. So we're very excited to have you guys, join us. So maybe Nin, if you can touch base with them and just make sure that they get in for our laser session following this live. We're going to be talking with all of our Ignite members tonight, as we do every single week. On our laser session, so make sure that they can get in for that if they've registered. So that's awesome. So the opportunities are, we had people during boot camp already start steering conversations and already having success. And our boot camp happened on Saturday. Today is Tuesday. As of Monday evening, last night, people were already sharing their successes. They couldn't believe how people just started asking them questions, and it was having success already. And who was it that actually had a coffee date booked? Cindy had a coffee date booked already from just simply steering a conversation towards real estate with somebody that she talked to all the time.
And I think the best part of that was that it was an unexpected phone call from a friend, and she was even more, it was more unexpected even that they asked questions and were interested. And so guys, just remember that whether you're in boot camp or not, that there are people around you that, they're interested in real estate, but they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the know-how, and they need someone in their life that does and that will show them. So, don't be shy about it. Something that happens to us sometimes is we'll say something and then we'll kind of get shot down a little bit, and people will usually out of love and concern for us, usually, you know, be like, you know, well, why would you do that? And are you crazy? And isn't there so much risk? And so that what that does to us, for one, that's what this community is for, is we share our stuff here because we don't need to share it with people who don't want to hear about it. But what that can also do is help, it can have us stop sharing. And that's a real detriment, because then when we stop sharing, people stop knowing what we do. Michelle Ouellette, she's one of our Ignited members, and she's—
Oh, look at this. Cindy's updating saying, yes, and the coffee date went extremely well. I may have another JV partner. That's amazing. From just simply changing and steering a conversation.
And from someone you already knew, but that you didn't ever do that with. And here they were interested in real estate. So I don't remember what I was saying, but anyways, basically, you know, don't let it hold you back. You got to tell people what you're up to, or you're never going to get partners. And it's partners that help us scale. It's partners that take us from being able to buy 2, 3, 4 properties, which is enough for some, and that's okay too.
Enough for most. That's all you need.
For most, yeah. But that takes us from, you know, being able to buy that many to the sky is the limit. We can buy hundreds if we wanted to. The only limitation is the partners that we can find. So,
and you know, that's funny because we call ourselves real estate investors, but really what our job was, especially in the first 5 years of us getting into this, was we were money partner finders. That's what we were. We were, our job was to find the money to buy the real estate. That was our job. Our job was to go out there and talk to people and have people invest with us. As much as we talk about ourselves as real estate investors, yes, we are, but our job was to find the money to buy the real estate. And that was kind of the breakthrough point. Once we started doing that and became successful at that, the real estate side, I think it was super simple. It was just, it was more finding the partners. And that's why we've created this system, because once you follow this system, it actually becomes super easy. Cindy came to boot camp and now she might have a JV partner within a matter of 2 days. If you follow the steps, it can happen. Simple as that.
So I don't know. A lot of you guys have probably read the book Never Split the Difference. It's a book about negotiating, and he pointed something out in there, and I thought, you know, that's so true. Is that you know, we're all in sales. Whether we're in sales for, you know, our jobs, so we're selling to our boss, our virtues and whatever, or our clients, maybe just servicing people and making sure, like, you know, even with our teenagers, I remember something in the book about, like, if you don't think that we're all in sales just in our general life, if you have a teenager in your home, you'll remember what negotiation and sales is all about. And isn't that true? We're all in sales, but here's a way that, you know, we found to hone in on it without being pushy, without having to ask for money, without having to, you know, beg and lose our dignity, or, you know, be disrespectful and take away their dignity. Not that, yeah, just be disrespectful. So there's so many different ways that we can, you know, cut the pie, but we've found some ways that really work, and that's what we shared in boot camp, and that's what we're seeing. So yeah, it's awesome.
That's right, Adele.
As young children, negotiating with their parents, totally.
So
after that, we went on to session 2 was planting of seeds. So we talked about how, you know, again, we'll go back to that analogy of gardening, and how when we are talking to people, we're planting seeds. Now, you know, we don't go on and on and on about real estate and about ourselves and be these really annoying, self-centered people, but we do mention, oh, hey, yeah, I put another tenant in a rental property of mine last night. Or, yeah, I was shopping with my realtor. Or, you know, you go to Disneyland and you say, yeah, well, I have real estate investments that pay for this. You know, so we are constantly planting seeds. And just like if I want fresh lettuce all through the summer into the fall, if I plant it right now in March, you know, I'll have it for a few weeks and then it'll be gone. And it's the same thing with joint venturing. You know, if I want lettuce all year or all summer long, I have to plant every couple weeks. I have to sow a few seeds in order all through the summer in order to have lettuce all the way through into fall. And it's the same thing with joint venturing. If we're only planting seeds sporadically, you know, once a year or twice a year, we get on a real go and we're like, woohoo, you know, and we go to networking events and whatever, and we're planting these seeds, that's great. But what that's going to do is it's going to create this really hard emotionally to keep up on because we're constantly restarting. And so remember, when you are planting your seeds, you want to plant them sporadically and consistently.
And
you don't want to fire hose them.
Yeah.
You want to sprinkle them with fertilizer and water and nurture and take care of that.
And really, one of the big things that we talked about too is to plant the seed, to mention something, but then to turn the conversation back to the people. I had a great weekend. I was at a boot camp, a real estate boot camp. What did you do that last weekend? Turn it back to them. Don't just, I was at a boot camp and it was amazing and I learned this and I learned that and I learned this and I learned that.
And they're going like,
and then they just completely lose interest.
They tune out.
Dropping a seed just means a seed. We're not dropping a sequoia tree on them, right? We're dropping the seed on them, and we got to let it grow. So we're just leaving little snippets every once in a while. But the good human aspect of it is to then ask them about themselves. Ask, that you're interested in them, and turn the conversation back to them, and let them start asking you questions. Let them turn it back to you.
So, and if they don't ask further questions, just be that good human and continue on with the things that your friendship was already built on, or your coworker, if you work with them or whatever it might be. But if you continue to just keep on trying to talk to them about stuff, they're just going to really hate real estate. So that's not going to help anybody, right?
Then you're one of those weirdos that Tiff talks about.
Yeah. So now we then moved into some branding and some marketing and talked about how the image that we project, is really important. We don't have to be fancy, but we do need to have a professional look. Now, does that mean you need to go put a 3-piece suit on if you've never worn one before? No. But maybe don't wear a hoodie, if that's all that you ever wear, right? Like, can you find a happy medium, like a sport coat, one of those stretchy ones that are really comfortable, with a t-shirt and some running shoes, So, when it comes to branding and business names and that sort of thing, do we need to get fancy and get particular? Do we have to have a website and a logo? And we don't have to have all that, but we do have to have something that establishes us as a legitimate business that inspires confidence in people talking to us. So if we're treating if it seems like we're treating our investing as a hobby, people will look at us as if we are hobbyers, and they won't take us serious. Hobbyists, and they won't take us seriously. So if we want to be taken seriously, we have to project a certain image, and we can do that, on social media, by how we dress, by establishing, legitimizing our businesses and, business names, that sort of thing. But don't get stuck. Don't let that paralyze you. Just, slowly work at it. We're talking about how you can get business cards for $50 or $35. I think I said
15.
It. And then Nin put in the chat. She's like, actually, Vistaprint is offering 100 cards for $15. So guys, for $15, if you get your name wrong, or if you, don't have a nice logo on there when you get them printed, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can spend $15 more to have it redone. So don't get too stuck on making it perfect. Just take action. That was our thing. Progress over perfection. Yeah. And I say that to myself all the time because I'm very much a perfectionist. And quite frankly, that makes me procrastinate. So progress over perfection.
And another tagline that I love to use that makes a ton of sense when it comes to all of this stuff, guys, is practice makes partners. We have to practice using our one-line moneymaker. Yeah. We have to practice steer conversations. We have to practice by making crappy business cards to start off with. We have to practice by coming up with a business name. We have to practice before we're going to be. We're never going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. To me, practice does not make perfection, but practice does make partners, because sometimes, even though we might flub a one-line moneymaker, or we might flub steering a conversation, or have crappy business cards, we can still get partners through that. We don't have to be perfect to get partners. Nobody's perfect. Lots of people get partners. It just comes down to who practices and who doesn't. Yeah. And so that was another important point that we talked about as well.
And I love that. I just heard that phrase or saw that phrase maybe on social media or something. Done beats perfect every time. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for being here. And that was a bit of a recap. Of course, we also talked about our why. We talked about the importance of really digging down and knowing that, and that is what will drive you through the really difficult times.
So that's
as much as real estate investment can bring you the life you want, you're going to have difficulty between now and then. You're going to have times where you just want to quit, you want to get out, you want to just, why am I doing this? But if your why is solid enough and you've defined that ahead of time, that's what can keep you going through those tough times.
And we'll recap again why that matters is because real estate for the first few years does not really pay you. It doesn't. And a lot of people come in, they do well, they buy quite a bit, they get some momentum going, but then the toll that it takes on their lifestyle and their emotions takes them back out of the game. And they've been in for a few years, but not long enough. Actually, I was just talking to my dad today and going through some of his properties. And, he's like, look at this. He got his mortgage statements and he was like,
that's my best time of the year, my favorite time of the year.
Look at this. This one's getting paid down by this much every year, he says to me. And I'm like, I know, right? So, but that's
money you don't see
many years in, and you don't see it, but it's there, and that's what's building your wealth. See, cash flow every month, it might pay for vacations or car payments or whatever, a few, maybe extra lattes or something, but that's not actually changing your life and changing and leaving a legacy, which is what we're all in this for, whatever that legacy is. But we're looking for something that's going to permanently change our lives and the people around us, not buy us more lattes. And so that's why it's important to have that why down pat.
I've never had a latte. No,
yeah, you have. You get those caramel
macchiatos?
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
A latte?
You used to. Yeah, I think so. Essentially. Okay. A very sweet, full of sugar one, yes.
Yes.
Anyways,
okay, so that's a recap of our boot camp. So we just wanted to do that so that those of you that are watching that weren't a part of our boot camp get an idea as to what we talked about, what the important things, the foundation that's needed to get going in this real estate game of finding money, finding partners, using other people's money. So those are some of the topics that we covered during our boot camp day. Of course, we've done that in half an hour, but we were on for 8.5 hours on Saturday, and we were on for another hour and a half on Monday night, last night, answering questions and stuff like that. So, and of course, filling people in on our Ignited program, which, the boot camp is steps 1 to 4, but the steps 5 to 50 are covered in our Ignited program. And so if anybody, again, I'm just going to reiterate it one more time. If you want to continue on this journey, the discount is on until tonight at midnight. Nin put the link in there. It's fearlessinvestors.ca/join-ignited-now. And if you enter that, you can go to the order form, fill it out. You do not have to enter a coupon code. The $1,000 has been taken off already.
Yes.
And that's good for either a one-time payment or for the monthly payment option. And if you're taking this seriously and you want to do this, you want to reach your why, you want to do it through real estate. Many people have found that this program can help them. It's a simple, easy, concise system to be able to get you where you want.
I mean, look at our Igniteds. Look at them. Like Sean Kearney is at 70 doors now. When we met him a year and a half, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I think he was at like 3 or 4 doors.
Almost 2 years ago.
Oh, almost 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Like it's insanity. Colin and Nicole, they're buying 2 multifamily unit buildings with partners right now. Melanie Robinson is closing on 7 properties this month. Ryan and Ashley, joined a year ago, Ignited, 0 doors, 0 experience, 0 anything. And they're going on to their, did he say 8th door or 7th door?
I don't remember
this
something
month.
like that. Yeah.
So it works. That's one thing I can say. It works. So if you are looking to scale and you're wanting to do more for your business and change what you're doing now, the definition of insanity, Michelle Ouellette mentioned it today. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. If that's you right now and you need something different, look into it.
Jump in with us.
Anyways.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the toughest questions that get asked. So how do you answer them?
Yeah, and if you have any questions you want us to answer for you about joint venturing,
put them in the chat.
Like that you're afraid to hear from a money partner or financial partner that might hold you back from holding those meetings, that you're just not sure what to say, then let me know. And we will hit that as well.
So here's a first question. How many properties does one need to own before having a financial partner or a JV? Very good question. A lot of people feel like, well, I have to have 5 or 10 properties before I start taking on JV partners.
or before a JV partner would look at me.
I'll use an example of Ryan and Ashley. They started with zero. Me and Tiffany, we started with zero. Well, our first property that we bought as an investment property was with a joint venture partner. You do not have to have other properties. Ray and Joe had one.
There's Joe right there. They had one property when they joined us a year and a half ago, and now they have over 40 doors, I think it is.
No, 55. 55 doors.
You guys are insane.
It is ridiculous. So what's the point? The point is, hey, if you have 10 doors already, is it going to be easier for you to find a financial partner? Probably. Yeah. If you have 0 doors, 0 experience, decent credit, not great credit, and 0 money, can you do it with JV partners? Absolutely. That was me and Tiff. Mm-hmm. We had okay credit. We had 0 money to put into real estate, 0 experience. And it took us a little bit. It took us 16 months of really learning strategies and all of that sort of stuff before we bought our first property. But after that, we bought over 100 in the next 2 years. And so we did that all by joint venturing and raising money from other people. So do you have to have lots of experience? Absolutely not. Or properties? Absolutely not. So good question.
Yeah. And this is the thing, I'll just add to that really quickly, is when you, like, if you don't have that, you think that that's the most important. You think, like I thought, and a lot of Igniteds that come in, they think that people want to see experience, they want proven track record. I can tell you right now, I'm a money partner, and there's a lot of money partners that are listening right now. And what they want to see, first and foremost, is, do they trust you? Are you hardworking? Do they think you're going to work hard for their money? And that drive that you have, and that willingness to, make it happen, that is more attractive to a joint venture partner than experience. Because if you're experienced, sometimes you're a little bit cocky, sometimes you're a little bit, and some people don't want that. So I can't tell you how many times we've had people come to us and say, I want to invest with someone that reminds me of me 20 years ago. I don't have the time or energy for it anymore, but 20 years ago, I would have done an awesome job. And I just want to leverage that in someone.
Absolutely.
So it really isn't, even though you think it is about experience, it really isn't. So don't worry about that. Like, just let it out of your head, really.
So I wanted to just showcase this comment.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of educational materials inside the Ignited membership site. Absolutely. Whoever this is, we can't see who it is. So just give StreamYard your permission.
Because then Joan says, Megan, did you join?
Okay, so maybe this is Megan. I'm not
Megan,
sure. But
the amount of information that's in there is like ridiculous. So I just saw this one too. Information, training, and support is second to none. Thank you, whoever you are. I'm sure we know you. Well, obviously we know you. Anyways, this question here from Liz. Okay. How do you get people to take you seriously without being a pest, right? That's the worst, right? You don't want to be that pesky salesperson that's like, hey, so how long do you wait after planting the seed before coming back to it? So Liz, for me, the best thing to do is to prep them in the very first conversation. So you can either ask them, so why don't I call you next week? Or why don't I call you tomorrow? I'm busy right now, or you're busy right now, or whatever. But prep them on it. But it all comes down to their level of interest. So that's when you know to circle back, but don't leave it longer than a week. Don't leave it, maybe 10 days max. But here's a little trick. And as you know, in Ignited, we call it good news reporting. As soon as you know that someone's interested, you're going to start good news reporting. You're going to be like, just forward them. Like if you're on Google and you see an article about a market or properties or whatever, or you see something good on social media, tag them in it. Yeah. Just be like, good news reporter. Like, keep them thinking about real estate without you being like, hey, did you want a partner? You're just keeping it in front of them. So good news reporting, that can be through an email list, a newsletter, social media post, tagging them in it, or forwarding them articles, that sort of thing. So really well.
Let me give you an example, guys, is, how do you get people to take you seriously without being a pest? Somebody who's continually asking someone to invest with them, that's a pest. Somebody who is offering value to somebody like Tiff said, giving them the good news reports. This is what's happening. Hey, I just found this article about what's happening in our market.
It's kind of like what we were talking about. I thought I'd send it to you.
Yeah. Did you notice this big employer that's going to employ 100 or 1,000 people is moving into that particular neighborhood? This is going to be really good for our rentals in that neighborhood. Just sharing good news reports about what's happening, how these reports affect your real estate, and how, really you're offering an opportunity to somebody. You're not asking them for money. You're offering them an opportunity that they otherwise may not know about or be able to do without you. Yeah. And so you got to just have your mindset set first. Once your mindset is set, then you can share those good news reports with them. And nobody's going to find you a pest if you're giving them all this good news and you're giving them all this information for free and not expecting something back.
You're, like we talked about in boot camp, you're going in serving, you're giving, you're not taking, you're not asking, you're just giving. So and that's exactly what Joe's saying here. By offering that value, it positions you as their go-to person for real estate. And so we've talked about it before. If you need someone, some plumbing advice, you call your buddy that knows this kind of stuff. He's either a plumber or maybe handy around his place. If dog training, we have a new puppy. And so I've been talking to my friends who have dogs. They're my experts now. Well, who's their real estate expert in your circle? You should be that real estate expert in their circle. And you establish that by providing those good news reports and sending them that kind of information. So just keeping them, connected.
Hopefully that answers your question, Liz, as to what you're going for. I mean, if you're just a source of information, then obviously you're not being a pest. That's kind of the answer.
Yeah, it's all about service, I guess. Tammy, should I offer financial partners the option for private lending and JV or wait till they lead? So the beautiful part about, what we do and love is JVing. However, the system and the process is the same, whether you're joint venturing or you're raising private funds. That trust factor has to be in there. They ask the same questions, the security, all that kind of stuff. So private lending is a little relationship, where joint venturing is more like a marriage. You're in it for a while, right? Private lending is more like, I don't know, leasing, maybe you're renting. But the situation is the same. So really it comes down to, like we talk about, you have to ask them what their goals are. And when you find out their goals, you should be able to look at it and go, you know what? I think what's better for you is private lending, and here's why. Or I think what's better for you is joint venturing. So, or that they come to you for, when you listen to what they need, you'll be able to then steer them to what you think is best for them. Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense, Tammy?
Okay, so should we do we're going to do a bit of a role play tonight, guys. And this
just really quick and simple, like nothing fancy.
Yeah, and this role play, what the purpose of it is you've planted seeds. Somebody's interested. You're now sitting down at a joint venture meeting, or you're sitting down to have a coffee, and you're going to have a chat with them about maybe working together, moving this relationship, this business relationship, to another level.
And it might be like at a family dinner. It's that casual. Yeah. That you'll get these kinds of questions where people will just be like, okay, so I've been thinking about this, but here's my biggest issue. And so that's what we're going to hit right now. So if you have any more of those, throw them in to the chat. We'll hit them. But in the meantime, this first one.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to skip through
really the normal beginning.
Yeah, we're not even really going to role play. We're just going to kind of ask the question, and then how would you answer it?
Okay, we're not going to role play.
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yes and no.
Okay, yes and no.
Okay, so you're asking the question and I'm answering you.
Okay, perfect. I just have to ask the question.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So guys, again, we're in the middle of a conversation and we've been talking about partnering together. And this is one question that a lot of people don't really know exactly how to answer, but it's a super easy answer now because the banks determine the answer to this. So we don't even have to think about it.
So question number one that we hear all the time. So who goes on title?
Well, actually, the banks are going to require you to go on title because you're.
Remember, I'm the financial partner. Tiffany is the working or the managing partner in this scenario. I'm the financial partner or the money partner in this scenario. Okay. So I'm asking her, who goes on title?
Well, the banks are actually going to require you to go on title since you're qualifying for the mortgage. So you'll be on title, and we'll have a joint venture agreement that protects my interest.
Perfect. Okay, that makes sense.
You got that, guys? Simple, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be complicated. What was that? 2 sentences?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Don't go on and on.
Yeah.
Don't try to explain to them why lenders this and why.
And we got to get the lawyer to do this and the lawyer to do that. And
yeah, it's simple. Answer. Who goes on title? You do. The banks require it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on. Okay.
Next question.
Is my money guaranteed?
I would love to guarantee your money. I really would. I'd love to guarantee my money. But no, there's no way I can guarantee it. I can tell you, though, that I'm going to work my butt off to make sure that your money grows, because if your money doesn't grow and if we don't make this a successful project, I don't get paid. Because remember, I only get paid if it goes up, if there's profit. And since, since that's my paycheck, I'm going to make sure that your money is growing. But can I guarantee it? No, there's no guarantees. You are on title, so it's secured, but guaranteed is different. And no, I can't do that.
Okay. Simple answer, guys. Simple answer. And I love the fact that Tiffany talked about that she doesn't make money if this deal doesn't make money. And that's the fact, the cold, hard truth about being a managing partner or a working partner. You don't make money unless the project makes money. And of course, whatever investment the financial partner puts in, they're getting that back. If any sale happens or any refinance, they're getting that back. And then the profit is split. And so for Tiffany to get any profit, she could be doing years worth of work, but she's not going to get any of that profit unless she's done her best job, bought in the right location, and all of those sorts of things, managed it really well. So the onus is really on the working partner to make that work. And so that's the way we always swing that answer.
So guys, put it in the chat. Did that seem easy or hard? Easy, hard. Easy, hard. Easier than you thought. That's one thing that we find. A lot of people feel like these answers have to be convoluted and complicated. You do that, they're going to run. Mm-hmm. It's a simple answer. Do you guarantee it? No, I can't. But here's what I can guarantee. Mm-hmm. I'm a freaking hard worker. I'm going to do my very best for you. And that's all the people need to hear. Mm-hmm. That's all I would want to know. That calms everybody down. We have done this hundreds of times to real partners in real scenarios, not role plays. And it's 100%. Every single person goes, yeah, right, okay. Mm-hmm. And they're good. You answer something else, convoluted, and believe me, we did it. We answered right, we answered wrong a million times. We went way over, way under. That just complicates it. It's really simple. Good. Awesome. Hey, Yershad.
Awesome, guys.
Okay.
So now what are some other questions that we normally get? And this is a big one. This next one is a big one. Now think of it from a money partner, financial partner's point of view. I'm going to be giving 50% of my equity, 50% of my profits to Tiffany because she's the working partner or the managing partner. So why wouldn't I just hire a property manager that takes 10% of the rent? So that's the next question we're going to ask, Tiff.
And I just want to preface that too by saying a lot of people will kind of feel bad for asking this question. And so sometimes I will bring up this question because I know it's in their minds. This one is pretty much a guarantee you're going to get this question asked of you at some point, or they've already researched to find out the answer themselves. But almost every financial partner is going to have a little bit of that question in their mind.
Yeah. So the next question is why wouldn't I just hire a property manager? Why would I give 50% equity up?
So you can 100%. If you feel like you have the time and you have the knowledge to do this, I will totally help you do it. I know of a couple good property managers in the area that would help you. But I will say this, the property manager is not vested. So in other words, whether your property performs well or doesn't affect the property manager. Whether it's vacant or not, doesn't affect the property manager. In fact, they sometimes even get paid, depending on their fee structure, more if your property is vacant. So that having been said, I am vested. So if I don't keep it rented that month, I lose half the cash flow. I lose cash flow too. It hurts me that very month too. My kids don't go to gymnastics because of that. So, and if I don't make sure that it's well maintained and have people good in there that are taking care of the place and pay on time and all that stuff, our investment doesn't go up in value. I don't make any money. Because remember, I'm only splitting if there's a profit, if our asset goes up in value. And anything that gets put into it, let's say they wreck it, and you have to put 20 grand into renovations, that comes off the bottom line. That's half of what I could have gotten. So you can absolutely do this on your own if you think you have the time and the knowledge for it, and I will help you. But just remember, no one's going to work as hard as I will. That's for sure.
Awesome. Excellent answer. What do you guys get from that answer? And how do you, what is your view of that answer, guys? So, remember a couple of big points that Tiffany said there, the difference between her and a property manager. Number one point, she has a vested interest in this property performing well. And that goes all the way from, the management of the property, the maintenance on the property, the type of tenants that are approved. The list goes on and on and on, things that property managers don't necessarily always cover for you. She's managing the entire investment. She's not just managing the property. She's managing the whole joint venture, the whole investment.
Yeah.
And she has a vested interest in making sure that this investment makes money for me as a money partner. That's the key to what Tiffany's talking about here. And that's how we answer that question. And 9 times out of 10, people are going to say, yes, I want somebody batting for me. I want somebody working hard for me. I want somebody that's going to manage my entire investment and not just be a property manager.
Yeah.
And then that question goes right out the window.
So Marion, she says, hire Tiff to talk to our investors. But here's the thing. How did I do that? Wait. Here's the thing, Marion. I did not know how to answer that before. And I had it asked of me a number of times, and I stumbled through. I was kind of actually in truth, in the very beginning, I was kind of like, I know, I agree. Why don't you? Because I didn't realize the value that I had. And I was still in that mindset of, I need them, not I'm offering an opportunity to them, but I need them to help me. And so it only was through practice. And then what happens, Marion, is you end up getting the same questions over and over again, and you stumble upon something that works, and you see in your conversation that they go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then it's like, okay, next time I'm going to say that because it's way better than the 15 times that I said it before different ways. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden now you have a system. Now with us, you're getting that system. We're giving you that system because trust me, I said it wrong more times than I said it right. And then all of a sudden I hit on the right one and I knew the right thing to say that calmed people's concerns. And now it's part of our system. So don't think that this came about by accident, because it didn't. Practice made partners. I practiced and practiced and practiced in a mirror and out loud and while I was driving and doing dishes. And yeah, so if I can do it, you can do it. I promise you that. And you, Marion, you have such a confidence about you. And I'm 100% sure that just with some practice, you'll be able to say it with confidence and ease too.
So really good question, Sarah. And she picked up on the other part of what you said there. Should you also include that your offer to help is limited? Like, you're not going to help everything going forward with them if they are not willing to joint venture with you. Remember, you're kind of like, I'll help you do that.
Well, my
so
help,
where do you go with that?
My help was, I'll introduce you to the property managers that I know in the area. Like, I'm still going to be a resource for them. I'm still going to be an expert for them. I'm still going to be a good human. If they don't want me, doesn't mean I'm like, okay, bye. Will I spend, my time and effort and hours and hours and hours helping them? No, obviously I can't, right? I work for my partners.
And how many times is somebody maybe going to do their first one and go out on their own and do their first one and go, oh my goodness, I'm pulling my hair out. I don't want to do this on my own. And then potentially call you back to say, hey, let's do that joint venture.
Well, and some do. They go out and they at least try it. They don't maybe get to the point of actually purchasing, but they're like, where do you find these deals? like I'm looking for stuff that you've shown me, and I don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it's because I have the network in place. It's because I have the buying systems and the relationships, and I've worked on that for a couple of years. So yeah, that's why. So Heather had a question.
Heather
Faulkner. Heather, it's not Faulkner.
Like a while ago.
Stop. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is Faulkner. You didn't know how to answer. I'm not sure which one, but he asked, what happens if the market dives? So the answer to that one is really good, right? Well, in Alberta, we know that, right? So the answer to that is you can do up two of the, so Heather, you're in Ignited, you have access to the cash flow sheets. You do up 2 cash flow sheets. One showing, a 1 or 2%, very conservative for Alberta, probably 1%, up market, and show one at 0. And show them that even if the market were to not change at all, or let's say it went down, but we're still cash flowing. We're still cash flowing and we're still getting our mortgage paid down. So get rid of everything on the sheet for ROI other than those 2 things, or even just mortgage pay down. Still just that 0 cash flow. Let's say it was 0. And then show them your ROI is still this.
So that's really, really key to this whole thing, is that you know whatever the market does, quite frankly, when we own an investment property, I don't care what the prices are because I'm not planning to sell it.
Yeah.
The only time I care about what the market is doing is if I'm planning to sell it. And for us, the reason that we're getting into this and buying real estate is a long-term buy and hold scenario. So we're getting into it to hold this for 15, 20, 25 years, have that mortgage paid off. So that's why we are personally getting into doing this. So whether the market goes, it's going to go up and it's going to go down during that period of time. It doesn't matter. The market can dive all at once. What's important to me is whether or not my rents are going to cover all my expenses during that entire time. And what else is important to me is to make sure that mortgage gets paid down. Now, in the first year, you're going to be close to 8 to 10% return ROI, and then sometimes 10 to 12% ROI on just your mortgage pay down. So even if you don't cash flow, and even if the market dives, you're still making a good ROI on that property, but because of the mortgage pay down.
But telling them that and showing them that are 2 different things. So if you're at that point in a conversation with someone, like it's your dad, then show him, Dad, I ran the numbers. If the market were to dip, as long as we don't need to sell, which is why I'm not doing this, especially in Alberta's market, I'm not doing this for a short-term thing. I'm doing this for a 7 to 10 year period. And then I have the choice of when I'm going to sell. This is how the numbers work out, and show them. And that's really powerful. You don't have to do any talking if you can show. Question from Irshad: between money and integrity, which one play a role to get a financial partner? Hands down, guys, put it in the chat for us. Which one plays a role? If you're a financial partner, what do you want to see in someone? If they've got money, integrity. And hands down, Irshad, I think you'll see it's integrity. Absolutely. If people trust you, they will absolutely give you their money way quicker than any other attribute.
We talked about that during our boot camp, is that, would I invest, if I'm a money partner, would I invest with somebody that I don't necessarily trust, but is showing me really good ROI numbers? Or would I invest with somebody that I know is going to work hard for me and that I trust, I know, like, and trust, but their ROI is less? Absolutely, you're going to go with the person you trust or that has integrity. That is going to win over ROI spreadsheets all day long, every single day. Yeah. So the numbers are important. Don't get us wrong here. But what's more important is showing, having that know, like, and trust factor.
For sure. All right, hypothetical. If there's depreciation, if there's depreciation on a property, do both partners still split the equity that's been put into the property? Do partners still? No. Or does the financial partner usually recoup their initial investment before equity is split? Yes, absolutely. They get back all their money first. And if there's nothing left for you, you've worked for free. That's the dealio. It's your job to make sure that the asset goes up, both in cash flow and value, and has been upcapped. That's how you're going to make your money. So and
quite frankly, we tell our partners right up front. We told every single one of them, if it goes up in value, if it goes up, this investment that we're managing goes up, and there's profit to be made, we split that 50-50. If it goes down, we split that 50-50. Now, we made sure that with all the numbers and the properties that we were buying, that it was not going to go down and we would not have to put money into a property. But here's the thing, is that when you tell them, we're splitting it 50-50 whether it goes up or 50-50 whether it goes down. That is also giving them a little bit of safety and security in the fact that, you know, we're there to help ride that wave either way. We're there either way. And that helps a money partner feel like, okay, well, yeah, that's that vested interest that they were talking about. They are vested in making sure that this investment works, because why would I want to buy something and then have to put money into it instead of making money? The whole point of doing this is to make money.
For sure. All right, we got a couple questions left to hit, and we've got 5 minutes to do it. So
okay. So next question that we hear a lot is, what if one of us needs out before our JV agreement says?
So I did cover this last night in our Q&A for boot camp, but I'm going to cover it again. So the answer is, what if one of us needs out? So our joint venture agreement has, you know, worst case, we can go to what's called a shotgun clause. And that basically says that one person says the price and the other person decides whether they're buying or selling for that price. So what that does is it's kind of like that pie when you were a kid. There's one piece of pie left. Your mom says you can share it. You're going to cut it, but I'm going to pick which piece that I want. And so that's going to make sure you're going to cut it straight, really fair. Because if you cut one piece bigger than the other, I'm going to pick the big one, right? And you're going to be left with the small. Mm-hmm. So same with the shotgun clause, basically says if you're the one that wants out, you're going to choose how much. You're going to set a value. And then I'm going to choose whether I buy you out or you buy me out at that price. Now, has it ever gotten to that point? No. Like we said last night, we have not. But here's the thing, and really quick, is you don't have to get to that point, but just that answer alone will quell most money partners' questions enough that that's all they needed to hear. Yeah. So that's what we'll.
Yeah, absolutely. And our answer really to that question a lot of times is simply we'll just have that conversation. If we need out, we'll have that conversation. We'll figure out things. We'll see what we can figure out. But worst case, here's what the JV agreement says. Yeah. Let's just do a quick explanation and we leave it at that. And we have had situations over the years where JV partners need out for one reason or another. And we've always just had a conversation and, hey, okay, what if we deal with it this way or this way? And we figure out something that works for both of us. Our JV partners are people that we want to have a relationship with forever. Like, you know, we don't want to have a negative relationship with somebody. So we're going to do what works for them, what works for us. And it's just a reasonable conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
And yes, Sam, what you said there in your comment is very, very good. All right. So what then, Tiffany, if something happens and the reserve fund has been depleted, do we both share in the expenses going forward?
So, I mean, certainly we'll have a healthy reserve fund. And there's not many things that are going to go beyond that. But let's say that there was, you know, we could do a number of things. So it comes down to what you're comfortable with. And I'm open to whatever. But, you know, one thing is we can take the cash flow from, you know, the property for a few months, both of our cash flows, we both input that until the reserve fund is back to where we want it to be. You know, there's a few different things. What is it you're mainly concerned about?
I'm just thinking that, you know, if something were to happen and there's not enough money there or it's vacant for 3 or 4 months, then what happens?
Well, if it's vacant for 3 or 4 months, I'm not doing my job, right? Yeah, if it's vacant a month, sure, you know, sometimes, but 3 or 4 months, I'm not doing my job. So I would actually consider that negligence. So certainly that would be on me to make sure of. But, you know, for the most part, everything that's going to come up should be covered by the reserve fund. And if not, I mean, maybe think about what makes you comfortable. And I mean, I'm pretty open to it. As long as my lawyer is fine with it, I'm open to agreeing to whatever.
Good.
Okay. The whole thing is, what do you need and how can I give it to you? Right. And I always say, you know, I'll have to run that through my lawyer, but as long as he's fine with it, I'll be fine with it. So each JV is different. Each person needs something different. Each person has a different thing that's going to make them feel okay. And that's what you're going to provide for them. So
there we go. So today, guys, we went through a lot of the questions that you end up getting asked from financial partners if you're going to be the managing partner. And so hopefully those answers kind of help clarify some of the things. The whole point, keep it simple, easy, concise. That's really
So-
going to be the main point.
We got to run because we are over
Yes.
time and our laser sessions are starting Ignited. However, guys, that you have a few more hours left to get in on the $1,000 discount that we run every time we do boot camp. Our boot campers always have option to it, but even if you didn't attend boot camp and you want to know more about Ignited, it's $1,000 off just for the next few days. So you have to book your consults in the next few days. You have to, or
It's
else
not $1,000 off for the next few days. It's $1,000 off till midnight tonight, and then that's when it goes back to its regular price, unless you've booked a call
consult
with a member of our team before midnight tonight as well. So 2 options: 1, join us. You won't regret it. Or
You have
2,
30
book
days
a call
to
with a member
decide
of our
if you
team,
do.
and I think they're booking till middle of next week at the latest. Book a call with a member of our team, and those links are in the chat.
Or you can
and
get a
then
hold of
you
Min.
can also get the $1,000 discount at that point as well. All right, guys, thanks for joining us again for another awesome
Welcome
Tactical
all our new
Tuesday.
Igniteds.
And put this stuff into practice. Remember, keep it simple. That's a big point that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And we're going to go over to our laser session now with all of our new Igniteds and all of our original gangsters. And we'll see you guys over there.
Cheers, everyone. Have a great week.
Take care, guys. Here we go.